What's up, guys? It's Reafi back, and today I just want to go through a couple tips and tricks I've seen a lot of people get mixed up on, and even some other mid-game players that don't know some of these things. So I'm just going to go through some of these unknown, well, not well-known stuff about your monsters and some of the stuff on them. So first things first. I think most people know this, but for you beginning players, if you look at your monster up at the top right, and I'll go ahead and point to it right here, that is basically a description of what type of monster it is. So if you see it says attack, that means most of the attributes are going to be focused on attacking. So if you see these monsters, they have really high attack. Now, if you go to someone, say, like this, who's more support, you can see a lot less, attack, and it focuses more on other attributes. So basically, that gives you a good description of, where you need to be focusing your runes and stuff like that. So you can see with these ones, I've got Rage Blade. This one, I've got attack percent runes on for damage. Same with this one, attack percent, just kind of like different things. But you can change up the rooms also based on skills. But just that little note up at the top right, that should give you a good idea of what kind of monster it is. It doesn't need to necessarily be the deciding factor on what you do with your monster, because some of these monsters you can definitely make, so like this Ramagos, or no, that's probably a bad example. What's a good example? Like Arnold, for example. Now, still again, no, I'd actually say these. Okay, so here's one, Vertihil. So Vertihil says he's an attack monster. I'd say he's more of a support monster, just because of his passive. So I don't focus any attack really on him. He's got pretty actually low attack, as for a 5-star, but so I've got crit rate on him because I want his passive to work as much as it can, and that basically requires him to get a critical hit, and I got 100% crit rate. So as long as I'm not attacking water-based monsters, I'm going to be hitting critical. So this is one of those instances. I would say that the top right, that little description of what kind of monster it is, I would say is probably not the best one, but generally these are, pretty accurate. So if it says attack, generally it's going to be an attack monster. There are some special cases, just as noted by Vertihil, and there's some other ones, but you really have to go searching to find some, because generally most of the monsters' descriptions are accurate. Now, another one that I see a lot of people get wrong, actually let me open this back up, are leader skills. So I'm going to break this down into kind of 3 different categories, and basically this runs on simple, icons for the leader skills. So a lot of people don't really know when the leader skills work, where they apply, and what they mean. So basically, you see, increases the resistance of ally monsters in the arena by 55%. That's pretty self-explanatory. This leader skill only works in the arena. But if you look closely, you don't even have to read the leader skill to tell that. One, the man flexing, that's a resistance icon. So you already can tell that it's for resistance. And it has an A at the top right corner. So it's going to be for arena. Where if we look towards, see, that's an A, that's arena. If we look towards something else like Vertihil, where it has a D, that means dungeons. So it won't work in arena, and it doesn't work in scenario mode. And a lot of people get this wrong. This is the dungeons, Kairos dungeon. These scenario modes are not dungeons. They don't even count for arena. They don't count for dungeons. So there's a third type of leader skill that applies for those. So basically, if we click on this, we can see that, if we put him on, it'll say increases the attack speed of ally monsters in the dungeons by 28%, and you can tell this leader skill works because it's highlighted gold. Where if we put someone in like my Katarina, where it's only for arena, it's white, so it doesn't work since it's only for arena. And we can look over in Trial of Ascension where this is pretty important. I'm really not that far. I kind of stopped here just because it was really annoying a level. But you see, TOA, the Trial of Ascension, isn't considered arena, but it isn't considered dungeons either. So what leader skills work, or if they work at all, if there is a leader skill that works. And that's where the third one comes in, which is the general one, where it doesn't have any icon in the top right, where it just increases whatever whatever skill or attribute or whatever by a certain percent. No, it's not limited to any specific place. And this is generally with these types of stuff. Now, this is also important. You can also tell which attribute they're for by that top right. You see how it's yellow? That means it's going to be for wind monsters. The same goes for like other, let's see if I can see, this one's for fire monsters with the red at the top. What's another one? See, this one's for water because it has a blue swirl at the top. So stuff like that. So you can, without even looking at the skills, you can tell by the icon. This is a single sword, that's attack. Those are multiple swords, it's speed. Speed. What are some other ones? Look, see, and this is where it helps too when when it says that you're going to get a leader skill. Just by looking at that, you can tell it's the leader skill he gets is going to be wind attribute, speed increase, and then we can see by how much. So just little things like that can really help. See, defense, for wind attribute. Now you can always just look at it, click on it, and look at it. But just seeing that A, it just, I don't know. I feel like it's a lot faster. If you're looking through trying to find some kind of monster to be a leader skill, you can just go through like, oh, okay, I want an HP boost, or oh, I want resistance boost. So if you memorize these icons, the difference between the up arms and then the down arms, that's the difference between HP and resistance. Then if you're looking for a leader to put when you're going through Trial of Ascension or Kairos Dungeons or some kind of thing like that, then it just speeds up the process, pretty significantly. I always find myself when I'm looking for a leader, trying to go through just some level that I'm going through on Trial of Ascension, I just start going through and okay, well, I'm probably going to need a little bit more resistance on this level because there's a ton of monsters that have provoke, for instance. So I'm going to be looking through oh, look, okay, well, there's wind resistance based skill. No, I need something else. Then you can just keep going through and search for it, and it just speeds it up a lot. And then another thing is this main leader skill thing, where let me show you. For Trial of Ascension, this is actually important because I know a lot of people don't understand that these leader skills do work for Trial of Ascension. This general leader skill, they work. So Dungeons doesn't work, Arena doesn't work, but the general leader skills work. So keep that in mind. And there are ways to tell, just by the icon, who it's going to be for and what kind of leader skill it is. So that's just kind of like a way to speed up the process when you're looking for those leader skills. And also, this is to help all of you that always end up putting, leaders in. I'll show you, for my defense, for example, I see a lot of people. Oh, and the leader skill for Arena doesn't seem to highlight, but it does work. Keep that in mind. It just for some reason they don't like to highlight, but it's no problem. Just make sure you read that since it puts it up there. But I see a lot of people put increases attack power for dungeons. These don't work. So it's kind of like a wasted spot, and it kind of hurts you a little bit because if you get really good leader skills, like like my Chimera, who gives a 50% HP boost, and you waste that on some dungeon-based one for arena or some arena-based one for dungeons, then you're down a pretty good leader skill, and that'll hurt you. So make sure you're paying attention to those leader skills, and they really help. And yeah, so that's pretty much just a quick way to tell what kind of leader skill it is and what it's for, without really having to read it. And it's important to know where they work. So again, Kairos Dungeon is what it means by dungeons, and it doesn't work for secret dungeons. It only works for Dragon's Lair, Giants, and then the Magic Halls and stuff like that, and Hall of Heroes, etc. So pretty much everything listed right here, excluding secret dungeons. And it seems like, okay, well that's pretty much nothing, but if you look at it, it's actually a lot of content, and you're going to be doing this a lot for runes and for essences. So dungeon leader skills are pretty much just as important as arena leader skills, if not more important, because they pretty much help build up your team from the start. And so yeah, that's pretty much the main thing I wanted to cover, besides the little descriptions of them. But so yeah, let me know if I didn't cover anything. If you have any questions, just leave a comment and I can reply back to you guys. Because it's definitely something that's important that you need to know with the leader skills, because these leader skills, they can really make the difference between a successful defense in arena or a successful run through one of your Kairos dungeons. They can really help. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this helps you guys. This wasn't really this generally would probably be more for beginners, but I know a lot of mid-game players that actually don't know this information either, where it actually has the icons with the A, to symbolize arena, and the different attributes up at the top right and stuff like that. So if you're a late game player and this can actually help you if you don't know this. So and for Trial of Ascension, like I said, Trial of Ascension, you want to get in a leader skill that actually applies to your team. So basically, if you're going to take some information, or at least one piece of information from this video, it definitely has to be this. If you're going to put a leader skill in for Kairos Dungeons, for Trial of Ascension, for scenario mode and all that stuff, check the gold highlight. If it's not gold highlighted, with the exception of arena, then it doesn't work. So if you put in something for something else and it's white, it doesn't work. Okay? So that's basically the rule of thumb. You go for the gold. So yeah, I hope this helps you guys. Let me know if you actually learned something from this, and I will see you guys later.